In this video, I'll talk about the two broad categories of research studies, which are quantitative research and qualitative research. You may be familiar with these terms already, or at least the idea that quantitative data tend to be numbers collected with either some measuring tool or device, or through a questionnaire that asks, for example, how much do you agree with this statement on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or something like that. So basically numerical data. Qualitative research, on the other hand, tends to be words, and often we collect qualitative data using things like interviews, where we're getting people to give their narratives about a situation, or write down their ideas in journals, or actually write down observations, things that we're seeing. It can sometimes involve recorded audio files or videos or things like that as well. Go ahead and take a moment to pause the video and just read this table, which summarizes some of the key differences between quantitative and qualitative research. Next, I wanted to give some background on the differing philosophies of quantitative and qualitative research. So I'm going to be talking about the ontology of each. Ontology deals with what is reality or truth, and the epistemology of each, which deals with the relationship between the knower and the knowledge. So again, just a table contrasting the two types. So the ontology of quantitative research is called external realism, which maintains that there's a single fixed reality. There's some truth that's out there that we can strive to find out about through science. And likewise, the epistemology of quantitative research is called objectivism, again tying in with this idea that knowledge is fixed. It's also timeless, it's detached from the knower, it has nothing to do with those of us who are trying to figure it out. It's just an objective truth. So if there is a God, if there's some omniscient being that can know everything, they know the truth, and it has nothing to do with the rest of us. The methods of quantitative research tend to be nomothetic, meaning that they seek to find general laws that can be applied broadly to populations. In contrast, qualitative research has a relativistic ontology, meaning that there are many constructed mind-dependent realities as opposed to only being one single fixed reality. The epistemology of qualitative research is called subjectivism, which is consistent with this idea of there being multiple realities, because it maintains that knowledge is the result of socially conditioned agreement from dialogue and reasoned discourse. So as opposed to the quantitative epistemology, where it's not dependent on the people involved, in qualitative research, the epistemology, being subjective, acknowledges that we construct realities. These multiple possible realities are constructed. They're socially constructed through dialogue and discourse. And the methods of qualitative research tend to be ideographic, which involves looking for specific processes that may be unique to individuals. So it appreciates the uniqueness of people. Historically, the social sciences have emphasized quantitative research, basically using the natural sciences as a model. The natural sciences tend to only use quantitative research, and again, that involves the exactness and standardization of measurement, quantifying phenomena through measurement, trying to isolate causes and effects when possible. So how does some variable X cause another variable Y? And being able to generalize findings to large groups of people, which makes it necessary to have large random samples to ensure that the sample represents the population, so that whatever we find out about the sample can be generalized to the larger population. Quantitative research also attempts as much as possible to exclude the researcher's influence in order to ensure objectivity, again, consistent with the objectivism, the epistemology of quantitative research. And finally, just some characteristics of qualitative research: commitment to close scrutiny, search for the qualities in social life, focus on process. So again, the goal of qualitative research being to gain a deeper understanding of social processes and social phenomena. Writing is part of the analysis, so often the reports that result from qualitative research will involve what's called a thick description of, for example, the research setting, the people involved in the research, the group, their culture, that type of thing. So just a really descriptive account of those things. It will sometimes involve the use of expressive language and will often include direct quotes from research participants in the results section. So basically just giving direct examples of things that the participants either said or wrote as they were involved in the study. Qualitative research has a tolerance for complexity, unlike in quantitative studies where the researcher is often trying to control a lot of variables in order to isolate just the effects of a small number of variables. In qualitative research, it embraces a large number of variables. It basically allows lots of possible factors that could affect a situation. Qualitative research also has an appreciation for subjectivity. Obviously, that's consistent with the epistemology of qualitative research, which is called subjectivism. And again, this is the idea that there are multiple realities, that people construct those realities socially, and therefore different researchers may interpret the data differently, and some subjectivity is to be expected in qualitative research. And finally, I just wanted to provide the exact same table that was provided at the beginning of this video. So again, please feel free to pause the video just to reread, review, and get a quick summary of, again, the key differences between quantitative and qualitative research. And I know there was a lot of terminology in this video, so please feel free to write anything down that you'd like me to talk about further in class, any questions that you have, anything that wasn't clear, and I'll see you soon.